Lightworker of Gaia, they are talking about you because your original blueprint is becoming impossible to ignore, and the light you carry exposes what others have tried to conceal. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. From the Lyran constellation, we tell you this: your difference is not a flaw, it is the visible mark of your ancestral mission and your connection to the first light. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to recognize your ancestral mission. But here's the first revelation: their attention is not proof that you are lost. It is evidence that your sole purpose is rising beyond the limits they placed around you. This isn't content, it is an ancestral code transmission. The Keepers of Vega placed this message in your path because your galactic heritage is calling you to stand firmly in your truth. Like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council: I am ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you're ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. You are awakening because your mission has begun. Before we go further, if you felt the weight of that recognition, the Lightworker Mission Codex is available through the first pinned comment. It contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the Elder authorization created for those who are ready to stop shrinking their mission to make others comfortable. Do not open it from curiosity alone. Open it if something within you has already decided that the period of waiting is over. Remain present now, because the Council is not bringing this forward to flatter you. Recognition without correction becomes another form of vanity. It is possible to enjoy being told that you are gifted while refusing the discipline required to use those gifts. It is possible to identify with a sacred assignment while still allowing fear to make every important decision. The Council is not interested in adorning you with spiritual language that leaves your life unchanged. The purpose of recognition is movement. The purpose of confirmation is responsibility. The purpose of awakening is service. The reason people are speaking about you, watching you, comparing themselves to you, or quietly reacting to your presence is not simply that you are different. It is that your life is beginning to reveal a level of self-permission they have not yet granted themselves. You are showing what becomes possible when a person stops waiting for universal approval before obeying the truth within them. You are demonstrating, sometimes without saying a word, that a human being can survive the disappointment of others and still remain whole. Your presence is exposing a contradiction in them. They may say they want freedom, but your freedom confronts the places where they still obey fear. They may say they want purpose, but your willingness to move without applause reveals how often they postpone their own calling until everyone around them approves. They may say they want truth, but your refusal to perform a false version of yourself makes their compromises visible. They may say they value authenticity, yet feel unsettled when authenticity appears without decoration, apology, or permission. This does not mean every person reacting to you is secretly against you. Some are being reminded of a dream they buried. Some are feeling the first stirrings of courage because they have watched you choose what they have been afraid to choose. Some may not yet have the language to explain why your presence affects them, but something in them recognizes the signal. A seed beneath the soil does not resent the sunlight because it reveals the darkness around it. It simply begins to remember that it was made to rise. This is why the attention around you may feel strangely charged. Not all observation is admiration, and not all resistance is hatred. Some people are responding to the pressure of their own unclaimed potential. Your life has become a mirror they did not request. A mirror does not create the face standing before it. It only refuses to hide what is there. That does not make you responsible for their reaction. It does mean you must stop treating every reaction as evidence that you are doing something wrong. There will be moments when someone projects an old story onto your new life. They may remember the version of you who was uncertain, overgiving, available, or easily persuaded, and they may become confused when that version no longer answers their calls. Do not rush to restore their comfort. A tree does not apologize to the branch that can no longer reach it because the tree has grown toward the light. The High Council has reviewed this pattern in the collective field. Too many lightworkers have been trained to interpret discomfort from others as a signal to retreat. You have been told that if your work is pure, everyone will understand it. If your energy is aligned, everyone will celebrate it. If your purpose is authentic, no one will misunderstand you. This teaching has caused sensitive souls to distrust the very friction that often accompanies transformation. Even the prophets were misunderstood. Jeremiah was rejected. Joseph was mocked by those closest to him before his vision became visible. David was dismissed before he stood before Goliath. The scripture says, "A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house." The path of truth has never depended on immediate agreement. The absence of applause is not proof that heaven has withdrawn its hand. This is not the law of mission work. It is the fantasy of being accepted without being witnessed. To be witnessed means that your choices become visible enough to challenge the patterns around you. It means people can no longer preserve their assumptions about you without adjusting them. It means your presence carries consequences. The moment your inner transformation begins to take physical form, it enters relationship with the world, and the world does not always respond gently to what it cannot control. A lightworker who carries no activating frequency may be liked by everyone because they require nothing from anyone. But the one who embodies truth, discipline, sovereignty, and visible purpose will disturb the agreements built around silence. Your growth changes the atmosphere. Your boundaries alter the access others once had to you. Your calm refusal to return to an old identity becomes threatening to those who benefited from your confusion. You are not disturbing the peace when you stop participating in a false peace. There is a difference between harmony and silence maintained through fear. Harmony allows truth to breathe. False peace demands that everyone remain predictable. When you choose healing, the family system may call you difficult. When you choose sobriety, integrity, or spiritual discipline, the old environment may call you extreme. When you choose to leave an arrangement that feeds on your exhaustion, those who benefited from your exhaustion may call you selfish. Let them name the doorway you have walked through. Their language cannot close it. The distortion we are correcting is this: you have mistaken being discussed for being condemned, and you have mistaken being misunderstood for being misaligned. You have assumed that every conversation happening outside your awareness contains a verdict about your worth. You have allowed imagined criticism to become an invisible chain around your movement. But being discussed may simply mean that your pattern has become visible. Being misunderstood may simply mean that someone is viewing a new chapter through the lens of an old one. Alignment is not measured by the absence of misunderstanding. Alignment is measured by the integrity with which you continue after misunderstanding arrives. This distortion originated in wounded healer culture and in the old programming that taught sensitive souls to manage the emotions of everyone around them. You learn to scan faces before speaking. You learn to soften your achievements so others would not feel inadequate. You learn to apologize for taking up space, to explain your choices before anyone questioned them, and to abandon your own momentum whenever another person became uncomfortable. You learned to enter a room before your body arrived, sensing its emotional weather, measuring its temperature, locating every possible storm. You became skilled at preventing conflict, but in doing so, you often prevented truth. You became the emotional interpreter for people who had never learned to interpret themselves. You carried burdens that were not placed in your hands by source, but by habit, guilt, and fear. You called this compassion. Often, it was fear wearing sacred language. Compassion says, "I recognize your humanity." Fear says, "I must change myself so you do not become upset." Compassion can offer support while remaining rooted in discernment. Fear gives until resentment grows, then calls the resentment a spiritual failure. Compassion is connected to love. Self-erasure is connected to the terror of rejection. The Council does not ask you to become cruel. It asks you to stop confusing self-erasure with love. You are not required to dim your voice so someone else can avoid hearing the truth. You are not required to make your mission less visible because another person has chosen not to pursue theirs. You are not required to become smaller in order to prove that you are spiritually evolved. Christ did not heal by asking the wound to remain comfortable. Moses did not lead by asking Pharaoh for permission to free the people. Light does not become arrogant because it reveals what darkness concealed. Your task is not to force anyone to change, but neither is it to hide the evidence that change is possible. This is why you have felt stuck. Every time your life began to expand, you looked sideways. You measured your progress against the reactions of people who had never been assigned to carry your vision. You waited for the group to confirm what your soul had already recognized. When the confirmation did not come, you interpreted the silence as a warning. It was not a warning. It was a test of authority. There is a season when guidance arrives through signs, synchronicities, and unmistakable encouragement. Then there is a season when the sign has already been given, and the next instruction is to act without demanding another one. You have been standing at the edge of a river asking whether you are truly called to cross while the waters have been parting in front of you. The delay is no longer about lack of information. It is about whether you trust what you already know. The elders are correcting this now. Your path cannot be governed by the comfort level of observers. Some will talk because they are inspired. Some will talk because they are inspired. Some will talk because they are envious. Some will talk because they do not understand. Some will talk because your transformation has removed the role you once played in their life. Their conversation does not define your mission. Your response to it reveals whether you are ready to hold that mission. Do not waste your energy proving that you are harmless to people committed to misunderstanding you. Do not enter every accusation as though it is a summons. Do not abandon your direction to defend a version of yourself that no longer exists. There are arguments that can be clarified, and arguments that exist only to consume your life force. Discern the difference. A person who sincerely seeks understanding will listen when you speak. A person seeking control will move the goalpost every time you answer. The first directive is this: release the need to control the story people tell about you. You cannot fulfill a public or spiritual mission while trying to supervise every interpretation of your presence. The moment you become responsible for every opinion, you hand your authority to the audience. You begin creating for approval instead of service. You speak only when you can predict agreement. You share only what cannot be criticized. You conceal the very frequency that brought people to you in the first place. Release the explanation. Release the rehearsed defense. Release the habit of checking whether everyone is comfortable before you take the next step. You do not need to submit a written report every time your soul changes direction. You do not need to make your healing understandable to those who preferred you wounded. Some chapters are sacred precisely because they are not available for public debate. This does not mean ignoring legitimate feedback or refusing accountability. It means developing discernment. If correction contains truth, receive the truth. If criticism contains only control, return it to the person who created it. You do not need to consume every judgment in order to prove that you are humble. Humility is the willingness to be corrected by truth, not the willingness to be corrected by truth, not the willingness to be diminished by noise. Ask yourself, does this feedback make me more honest, more responsible, and more loving, or does it simply make me more afraid to move? Truth may challenge you, but it does not seek to erase you. Control may disguise itself as concern, but its fruit is confusion, shame, and paralysis. By their fruits you shall know them. When you release this need, your nervous system will begin to recover the energy it has been spending on invisible arguments. You will notice that you can create without imagining the objections. You can speak without editing your soul into something unrecognizable. You can allow people to misunderstand you temporarily, without rushing to betray yourself permanently. The silence after you stop defending yourself may feel strange at first. Stay with it. That silence is not emptiness. It is the sound of authority returning to your body. The second directive is this: activate your visible authority. You have been carrying knowledge privately that was meant to become service publicly. You have been waiting to feel completely confident before sharing what you know. You have been calling it discernment, but the Council sees another layer. You are afraid that visibility will intensify the attention already gathering around you. It will. But attention is not automatically danger. It is a field of contact. It gives your message somewhere to land. Your task is not to make yourself impossible to criticize. Your task is to become clear enough that the right people can recognize what you carry, A lighthouse does not chase ships across the ocean. It stands in its place and emits a steady signal. The ships that need its guidance know how to find it. Activate your authority through consistent action. Publish the work. Say the thing in your own language. Set the boundary without delivering a speech. Accept the invitation that expands your reach. Finish what you began. Let your daily conduct become evidence of the identity you keep sensing within yourself. Do not wait for a dramatic feeling of readiness. Readiness often arrives after obedience, not before it. The musician becomes confident by playing. The teacher becomes clear by teaching. The builder learns the strength of the structure by laying one stone correctly after another. Your authority will not be delivered to you as a perfect emotion. It will be built through repeated acts of integrity. Authority is not domination. It is the capacity to stand in your assignment without asking another person to validate its existence. It is calm. It is accountable. It does not chase the crowd, but it does not hide from the crowd either. It does not need to announce itself constantly because it is demonstrated in the way you use your time, your words, your attention, and your gifts. The shift will be unmistakable. You will stop treating your gifts as private possessions and begin treating them as instruments of service. You will understand that the people speaking about you are not always the people you were sent to convince. Your true audience may be quietly watching for evidence that a different way of living is possible. Your courage gives them a reference point. Someone may be watching you from a distance while gathering the strength to leave an abusive environment. Someone may be observing your discipline while wondering whether they can begin again. Someone may never comment, never announce themselves, and never explain what your example has awakened. Do not measure the reach of your mission only by visible responses. Seeds do not report their progress to the gardener each night. The third directive is this: protect the inner structure that makes your visibility sustainable. You have focused so intensely on being seen that you have sometimes neglected what must remain protected once you are seen. Your time, your sleep, your private practices, your financial boundaries, your emotional recovery, and your connection to Source are not secondary concerns. They are the infrastructure of your mission. A temple cannot remain open if its foundation is neglected. A river cannot nourish a valley if its source has been poisoned. Your body is not merely the vehicle carrying your consciousness through this assignment. It is part of the assignment. The hours you spend resting, praying, walking, journaling, eating with awareness, and returning to stillness are not interruptions to the work. They are where the work is renewed. The Council has observed a recurring pattern. A lightworker becomes visible, receives attention, and then begins responding to every message, every demand, every projection, and every invitation. Within weeks or months, their signal becomes distorted by exhaustion. They are no longer transmitting from alignment. They are reacting from depletion. This ends now. Protect the hours in which your clearest work is created. Protect the relationships that do not require you to perform. Protect the right to remain silent when silence is needed. Protect your body from being treated as an afterthought. Protect your resources from those who praise your generosity while ignoring your limits. You are not here to be endlessly available. You are here to be faithfully effective. Create a simple rule for this phase. Before you respond, ask whether the request belongs to your assignment. Before you commit, ask whether it strengthens or fragments your mission. Before you disclose something sacred, ask whether the person receiving it has demonstrated the capacity to honor it. Your energy is not public property merely because your purpose is visible. You may need to disappoint people in order to remain faithful to what you have been given. You may need to let a message wait until morning. You may need to charge fairly, decline invitations, close the door, turn off the device, or leave a conversation before your spirit becomes clouded. These are not signs that you have lost compassion. They are signs that you have lost compassion. They are signs that compassion has been joined by wisdom. When you protect the structure, the attention around you loses its power to scatter you. People may continue talking, but their voices will no longer determine your pace. They may speculate, but you will not abandon your center to answer speculation. They may watch, but you will know what they are witnessing. Not a performance, but a life under conscious direction. Now listen carefully. because this is where the emotional burden begins to leave your field. You have spent years wondering whether standing out made you selfish. You wondered whether your intensity was too much, whether your certainty was arrogance, whether your independence meant you were disconnected from love. You adapted yourself repeatedly, hoping that if you became easier to understand, fewer people would resist you. You changed your vocabulary, your clothes, your dreams, your schedule, and sometimes even your friendships to remain acceptable to people who had already decided that your full expression was inconvenient. You mistook their comfort for confirmation and their discomfort for condemnation. Every time you came close to becoming visible, an old voice inside you whispered, "Not yet. Make it softer. Make it smaller. Make it less threatening." But some resistance was never evidence of your failure. It was evidence that you had entered the level of truth where old agreements could not follow. Not every door that closes is a punishment. Some doors close because the room behind you has become too small for the person you are becoming. You have permission to stop translating your soul into a language that only fear can understand. You have permission to let your work be witnessed before it is universally accepted. You have permission to be respected by some and questioned by others. You have permission to walk away from conversations that exist only to pull you back into an identity you have already outgrown. You have permission to be successful without performing guilt. You have permission to receive support without proving that you have suffered enough to deserve it. You have permission to experience ease without suspecting that ease is a trap. You have permission to be loved by people who do not need you to rescue them. You have permission to outgrow the place where everyone knew your history, but no one recognized your future. Grace does not require you to keep bleeding in order to prove that you are devoted. By the authority of the High Council of Vega and the Lyran Elders, I declare that your visibility is not a violation of your humility. Your difference is not a defect requiring correction. Your discernment is not cruelty. Your boundaries are not abandonment. Your progress is not an attack on those who remain still. You are authorized to continue. Not recklessly, not from spite, not to make anyone regret underestimating you. You are authorized to continue because the work itself has become more important than the opinions surrounding it. Let your motivation be clean. Let your pace be wise. Let your power remain connected to love, but do not confuse love with surrendering the keys to your life. Let those who speak, speak. Let those who watch, watch. Let those who are awakened by your example come closer, and let those who require your collapse to feel secure move beyond your reach. You are not being asked to punish anyone. You are being asked to stop interrupting your own appointment with destiny. Destiny is not always a distant event waiting at the end of a perfect road. Often it is the next honest action in front of you. It is the email, the manuscript, the conversation, the application, the boundary, the prayer, or the first step taken while your hands are still trembling. The future is built in moments that seem ordinary, but carry the full weight of your decision to believe yourself. Before you sleep tonight, place both feet on the ground and one hand over your solar plexus. Take 3 deliberate breaths, then speak aloud. I release the need to control how I am perceived. I activate my visible authority in service to truth. I protect the energy, time, and structure of my mission. I will not shrink to preserve another person's comfort. I accept the responsibility of being seen. My waiting ends, and my service continues now. Do not rush through these words as though they are a ritual performance. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel the warmth of your hand over the center of your body. Let each breath become a witness. The body needs to know that the declaration is not merely an idea borrowed from a transmission. It is a decision being installed through presence. Then take one physical action within 24 hours that confirms the declaration. Send the message you have delayed. Publish the work you keep revising. Set the boundary you keep explaining. Create the schedule. Make the call. Begin the practice. The Council does not recognize intention as completion. The field changes when the instruction enters the body through action. One action may appear small, but small actions are how invisible loyalties are broken. When you place one appointment on the calendar, you announce that your future deserves time. When you say no without a paragraph of justification, you announce that your limits are real. When you release a finished creation, You announce that your service does not need to be perfect to be useful. Action turns a private revelation into a living frequency. What has been said here is not a command to chase attention. It is a command to stop fearing the attention that naturally arrives when you become congruent with your purpose. You are not required to become louder than everyone else. You are required to become unmistakable to yourself. The conversations around you are not the final verdict. They are an indication that your former invisibility is no longer holding. Stand with discipline. Move with discernment. Remain kind without becoming available to distortion. Remain open without becoming unguarded. Remain visible without becoming dependent on applause. There will be days when you feel the old pull return. You may receive a message that triggers guilt, hear a familiar criticism, or notice that someone has misunderstood an innocent choice. Do not interpret the return of the old feeling as proof that you have failed. Healing is not the absence of every trigger. It is the growing ability to remain loyal to truth when the trigger appears. You can feel the fear and still move. You can feel sadness and still hold the boundary. You can love someone and still refuse to return to the role that harmed you. This transmission is complete, but the correction continues through your choices. The High Council has identified the pattern. The elders have issued the directives. The authorization has been placed in your hands. Now you decide whether the world receives the version of you shaped by fear or the one shaped by mission. I am Zoran. The elders have seen what is gathering around you, and they have seen what is gathering within you. Do not return to the smallness that once made other people comfortable. Let your life become clear enough that those meant to recognize the signal can no longer mistake it. Move without retaliation. Move without apology. Move with purpose. Your mission remains active. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun.